Hello and welcome, all project managers, not PMPs. My name is Sergey Brovkin, I am a recovering project manager, and this is my advanced project management course. Good to see you back. I understand it's not the first class you're attending, so you may recall that after more than 2 decades of certified professional project management, I came to the conclusion that project management as we know it is not what we really need today to be successful in business and in life. So I put together this course in order to help you improve your performance after just a few short lessons. In fact, I applied the Pareto rule to everything I learned as a manager. That is, I will share with you the 20% information that contain 80% of my knowledge that you need to succeed. This 20% I consider the foundation of what we may call Project Management 2.0. Not a fancy name, just a short one to make it easy to communicate. Welcome back to class. In the last session last week, we discussed the history of project management as we know it, Project Management 1.0, and we even discussed what health problem we may develop if we stick with Project Management 1.0. Today we will discuss how the future is different for project management, and we will be looking at the differences between Project Management 1.0 and 2.0. That doesn't imply that Project Management 1.0 is supposed to be written off completely. Not at all. Most of the tools you are already using will be worth taking along with you. And I doubt that you need more tools than you already know. It is how and when you apply them what matters the most. That will become obvious to you when you embrace the new Project Management 2.0 approach. And with project management being just a subsection of management at large, having mastered the Project Management 2.0 approach and mindset, you will be more confident in any management role. I see here even a more important significance of what we are going to do with you, guys and gals. A bit idealistic perhaps, but still. As you will yet continue growing in your careers, your advanced understanding of the new approach in management will be beneficial not only to you, not only to your teams, but to society at large. Think I'm overexcited? Maybe I am. But I have had clients excited and surprised to the point of disbelief with the boost in productivity demonstrated by their team after just a few small changes prompted by the new worldview. By the way, I mentioned guys and gals, and that's for a reason. I expect to see much more ladies among Project Management 2.0 project managers because the nature of PM 2.0 is often more intuitive than systemic. Plus, women perform better in ambiguity and are more open to change. That's where we're heading with a new approach in management. Welcome to Project Management 2.0. To understand the difference between the two, let's look at a real-life problem, very common these days. Recently I saw a post on LinkedIn by a recruiter, let's call her Sam. Sam asks, help me understand why so many organizations are so resistant to employees working from home. You all might have faced these issues as well. But why this is an issue at all? It's actually an example demonstrating the old school approach to management. Many project managers are especially sensitive to this working from home problem, and their answer to this question divides them into two camps, the old school and the new school. Can you answer Sam's question? Share your answer in the comments, it will be interesting to compare. But my answer to Sam's question is simple. Many organizations are resistant to employees working from home because their bosses feel more comfortable when people are physically in the office. It is easier to monitor them, and that gives them a false sense of control. What evades them completely is that the hard numbers of chair time KPI that they are trying to ensure are only weakly correlated with the employee's output, if at all. In reality, the intrusive monitoring may drive the performance down, But those old school employers explain it, you got it, by the inefficiency of working from home. You probably are aware that there are multiple examples of improved productivity when teams work from home pretty much 100% of the time. The positive result is achieved by the teams that differ in the level of trust they have in their teams. The trust is the driver of efficiency and is the most critical component of PM 2.0. We should have a separate session on trust, and we will. Trust is the result of proper team selection and values alignment, and its impact on the team productivity is 10 times more significant than that of any hardware or software tools you may be using for project management. Today, it's still project management book of knowledge rather than trust that is considered the foundation of project management methodology as we know it. And I guess we'll have to start with it as well, Project Management Book of Knowledge. PMI folks who have been publishing the PMBOK for decades are doing their best to try to keep with the times. On my memory, the PMBOK has grown dramatically in size. By now it looks more like Project Management Wikipedia, kind of a catch-all collection of everything project management. Last time I checked, Project Management Book of Knowledge was about 800 pages. Hardly a practical guide for a hands-on manager like all of you are. I have to warn you though that while most of the Project Management 1.0 principles laid out in the PMBOK are a bit vague but altogether harmless, some of them may be hopelessly outdated. For example, the PMBOK talks about a lot of team management and pushes towards project leadership, but declares that technical project management skills are core to program and project management. Are they? Google for the Immutable laws of project management that someone collected many years ago and put it on the web, and you will see quite a few worthy ideas there, like this one. The greater the project technical complexity, the less you need a technician to manage it. I would sign under this unconditionally. You may be surprised that Google, a real technical giant, rates technical skills as the least important aspect for a manager. Disagree? What's the number one requirement to project managers and managers in your organization? Share your experience with the rest of us or send me a message. Haven't changed as they might. The PMI methodology has disclosed its true nature by one Freudian slip. In the PMBOK, while promoting the importance of the team development, it includes team development in the resource management section. From my experience, regardless of what is declared by the company or in the company documents, if the team members are treated as resources, the team building becomes nothing but a purchasing process, and all those sublime talks about project leadership prove meaningless at best. To conclude the comparison of the two, here is a pro tip for you. As a project manager 2.0, you are not responsible for parts produced, system tested, or lines of code written within the project scope. You are responsible for the well-being of your teammates who produce parts, test systems, or write code, making your project a success. In PM 2.0, your focus is on your people. And your role is to make sure that the team has everything they need to work effectively towards the business goal. The management approach that I encourage you to adopt, the PM 2.0, is a management approach that will make you significantly more productive when you apply it in the right place and in the right proportion. Its basic idea is simple. Apply the Pareto rule to the traditional project management and do your best to maintain high employee engagement. That may sound as if it requires more effort from you, but not really. And the result is well worth the effort. One client of mine, after about 1 year of our partnership, asked if I could now teach them how to slow down. That was, of course, a tongue-in-cheek question. But as they have improved their productivity by 10% in a few months, they now faced an unexpected cash flow problem. With the growing production rate, they needed about 10% more supplies. And of course, the additional costs were not budgeted in the budget that was approved almost a year ago. And this is not a joke, and actually nothing exceptional. From my experience, it is almost always possible to improve productivity of a given team or a given company by 10% within 6 to 12 months through purely soft approach, and the results will be sustainable. If productivity as such is not your immediate concern, as is the case for many projects, the PM 2.0 soft approach will improve the project's ability to deliver within the triple constraints. You probably heard about the project triangle. I will talk about the project triangle and the triple constraint in the next lesson. Of course, there will be quite a few things in project management 2.0 that are known since before PMI and that are known to you, and we will continue using them, such as critical path approach, the Gantt chart, work breakdown structure, maybe sometimes product breakdown structure, and also the PERT. Further similarities that you will see, like in Project Management 1.0, projects in PM 2.0 have phases, milestones, may have gates. It all depends on the scope of the project and on the organizational needs and culture. However, I suggest to take a little step further back in history and incorporate what's already known and valid since the middle of last century, and that's the ideas of Edwards Deming.
Time's up.
I think we do it next week. So I'll see you next week, and with you we still have quiz and Q&A. See you in a bit. Question for today. Apart from project management tools like the Gantt chart and others you have mentioned, do you use any old school software tools in project management 2.0? Of course I do. Let's talk about a few of them. First, about the most important, which are obviously Microsoft Project and Excel. Microsoft Project is the number one, hands down, and some companies use Primavera, but I think Primavera will remain in Project Management 1.0, not in 2.0. Now, in my previous lives, I even had to learn the basics of AutoCAD because I was working for an engineering company, and that was a mistake, because being a project manager, you must remember that you shouldn't spend your time on subject matter expertise that is not your subject matter expertise. Things like management programs or Microsoft Project for project managers is your subject matter expertise, and that is why it is worth investing time into this, into learning these softwares. Other than that, well, I had to study or learn AutoCAD because that was my first project management job, and I had to do anything but project management. But unfortunately, quite a few project managers stay in that role of doing anything but, and that is a rampant medical condition in project management, and you must be aware of it because those people in the end call it project manager wears multiple hats. That's a very dangerous thing, and we will talk about it absolutely next time because you have to be aware of it and stay away from multiple hats. It's worse than multitasking. So bearing that in mind, I'll still recommend to learn Microsoft Project and Excel. And Microsoft Project, if you know it yourself, you can play with it without asking your scheduler or whoever is your subject matter expert in Microsoft Project to crash different activities, to reallocate resources, and of course you will always see the critical path, and this is most important because you won't see it anywhere else unless you have this tool. And also you can build a work breakdown structure. Sometimes it helps, and you can use all these outputs from Microsoft Project for your presentations, because as a project manager you will have to present the status of your project. And there is another add-on, as they call it, to Microsoft Project, which is called At Risk, and it's a very interesting application because it helps you generate pretty much all possible problematic situations with your project using Monte Carlo simulation and visualize it and figure out which way to go to mitigate this risk. And this is very interesting and actually very helpful. And it works with At Risk works with Microsoft Project and Excel, and no wonder, because you may be surprised, maybe you know that, but these two programs, they have the same code base. Basically it's the same program with a different interface. Again, some project managers that I worked with used PowerPoint for their planning, because in PowerPoint you can build a Gantt chart, and on the top level it's enough to visualize your project process. Well, it is possible for really strategic projects, and it reminds me of brings me back to the Immutable project management law, that the greater the project technical complexity, the less you need a technician to manage it. Best project managers I worked with were not certified, and some of them wouldn't be able to use Microsoft Project professionally, but they would always use Excel, because in Excel you should know how to build graphs, how to use pivot tables, and it is a very helpful tool. It works as a database as well. Sometimes you also need that to keep track of your projects. Throughout my career I built many things with Excel, and you may have a look at them at my website or my LinkedIn profile. They are Q7 Culture Compass, Team Gauger, PPP for processes, and MMM for meetings. And they're very simple tools, and you can build them yourselves if you look at them at least once. Have a look at them on my webpage. And that was a very long answer, but that was an important and a good question for project managers. So that's it for today. I'm waiting for more questions, and by all means I'll see you next week. See you in a week.